Yeah, we're recording. We're
Oh,
live.
we're
Let's
here.
talk about Man on the
We did
Moon
it.
from
Talk
1999.
about you went down a Milos Forman rabbit hole this weekend.
I wouldn't say rabbit hole, but kind of.
You watched about what, 4 of them?
I only watched 2.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said not rabbit hole, but let's do an intro. Let's play the theme song here, and then I'll get into what I watched. Welcome to Hollywood is Dead. I'm Phoenix West.
Dick Ducat.
Hey, it's HID117, the HID Warrior. That's the episode. I need to change these titles to actually be what we're talking about.
Hit 26.
I'm kind of painting myself into a corner.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
HID24. No idea what we talked about based on the title.
I can't believe we're on Hit 26.
Yeah,
that's insane. I feel like we just
5 out of 26 weeks that we did it.
I mean, it's just like I can't believe we've gone this far already. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
we just started this. I feel like the other day. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't even want to venture a guess. I think we started in September.
I think so. Yes,
sounds about right. But let me take a look.
Yeah, maybe August.
It was. Oh shit, we were both way off. Oh, you were close.
No,
you were off by a couple days. July 29th.
Okay. Oh shit! Wow. Okay.
Didn't realize this is a summer show, but it makes sense.
But
today we're talking about Man.
Wow. Okay.
1999's movie. Yes. Milos Forman. I only watched this and The People vs. Larry Flint.
Yes.
I watched them because they have almost the same cast.
Yes,
almost the same. I don't want to say storyline, but same premise, which is a weirdo who's a real life figure, played by a fucking solid actor, really into the role. And it's just a lot of the similarities between the two movies that caught my interest. Not that I'm here to compare the two, but yeah, tragedy.
Both end in tragedy. Both have humor.
Only they're opposites with the Courtney Love factor, because in this, he dies. Courtney Love watches him die. In People vs. Larry Flint, Courtney Love dies, and he has to pull her out of the bathtub.
Althea now, Althea.
Yeah.
Heroin addicted bitch.
But I fucking love this movie, Dick.
Yes, it's a good movie. It is a very good movie. I love Danny DeVito playing Bob Zmuda. I'm sorry, he's not playing Bob Zmuda.
No. He plays George Shapiro.
He plays his agent. Bob Zmuda is his friend, who's his cohort, and that's played by Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti is Bob Zmuda. Yeah,
who just worked the year previous with. He's in a Jim Carrey movie without any scenes of Jim Carrey, because he's in Truman Show.
Is he really? I forgot that.
He's one of the control guys under what's his name?
Ed Harris.
Yeah, Ed Harris. I don't know why I blinked on his name.
What's his name? Christoph.
Yeah, he's up at the moon base, and he's like, he tells him to make the water sink him, and he's like, he won't do it, and Ed Harris takes over and makes him tipping him over.
Right. Yeah.
Truman Show is one of my favorite movies.
I've seen it maybe 2 times.
This one, not as good as Truman Show for me, but it's a solid fucking movie. It has everything you want from a movie.
Yeah.
It has a bizarre lead character, regardless if you're talking about Jim Carrey or Andy Kaufman.
Right. And in this situation, Andy Kaufman... Andy Kaufman, died in the 80s?
84?
Did he die that late or that early?
He died in... No, I looked up Jim Carrey, not Andy Kaufman.
I wish Jim Carrey was dead. Andy Kaufman was still alive. When did Andy Kaufman pass?
He died in 84.
Oh shit! So it's that long ago. So yeah, Andy Kaufman is a different breed of cat. He's more of a performance artist. He's more or less not really a comedian. He's more of that avant-garde. Where do we push limit. Like he was ahead of his time, I guess, in a sense, because of his whole like the wrestling thing was pretty ingenious, where he was just like, I want to wrestle women and be a heel. He basically
He was the
created
heel.
he basically created the WWE, like
He did.
or World Wrestling Federation, in a sense, because he couldn't do it with the men because he knew better. Women was the best way to go, and it was hilarious. It was funny, and he built this rapport with that other wrestler, with Jerry Fowler. Jerry Fowler.
Jerry Falwell was from People vs. Larry
Jerry
Flint.
Falwell Jerry Falwell was the priest, was the reverend. No, but Jerry
Lawler.
Johnny Lawler. That's what I was. Okay.
Very
And he's
similar.
dead now.
Again, a lot of similarities between the two
Yeah.
movies that can't be
But Jerry
overlooked.
Lawler was in on it. Jerry Lawler was in on it. They make that apparent in the movie too, because Jerry Lawler's like, yeah, oh no, I'll do what Andy wants me to do. Sure. Yeah, just tell me. Did I hurt you, Andy? I'm sorry. No, you were great, Jerry.
It's actually funny because I did watch the Netflix documentary today. It's Jim and Andy. I watched it today. It was pretty crazy. I didn't realize how far down the rabbit hole Jim Carrey went.
Yes.
I also I kind of had some opposite reactions at the same time, where I was like, I get why he's doing it. I totally do, and I agree. Also, calm the fuck down, man.
Well, it's in the sense of Andy Kaufman being that wacky personality. So Jim Carrey's trying to channel that. Andy Kaufman would do something like this for a movie. Why shouldn't I be able to do it? And it would be, I think he did it more or less to get an Oscar. I think it was him thinking this was it. Truman Show, he should have won. He didn't. And then he really should have won for Eternal Sunshine, but that was like 4 years later. But this was like his middle ground. This is like the epic of his career at this point was this movie, because he has all the success in the world, and this is his big moment where he can make, because nobody could make this movie ever. This movie could not be made today.
It shouldn't exist.
It shouldn't exist. There should not be an Andy Kaufman movie called Man on the Moon based on the REM song. There just shouldn't be that.
But there is a version of this movie that does exist, like in the alternate reality world.
Right.
What's it called?
There is a documentary.
But it's
there's a documentary
movie that fucking sucks.
Is there really?
I'm saying that's how this movie should have been made.
Right.
It should have had one of the biggest stars on the planet playing someone that nobody fucking remembers.
It should have been Wired. The Jim Belushi movie, the John Belushi movie. You ever heard of that?
What's it called?
Michael Chiklis as John Wired. It was about SNL in the 70s, about John Belushi and how he died and burnt out.
Oh no!
And Michael Chiklis played John Belushi, and he said it almost ruined his career, and it just started because people hated it, and they said, "How dare you?" I don't think it was made for TV. I think it came out in theaters. It was a Bob Woodward book. Wired, yeah. It was a book that was written by Bob Woodward or Bernstein, one of the two that wrote All President's Men. Woodward. And it's about John Belushi.
The ghost of John Belushi looks back on his troubled life and career while journalist Bob Woodward researches Belushi's. This sounds like adaptation. Yeah. Researches Belushi's life as he prepares to write a book about the late comic actor. This sounds like adaptation with a ghost.
And I've never seen the movie, but I know it's one of those. I want to watch it just because I'm curious, but it's like impossible to find, and it's supposed to be really terrible.
I'm going to add this to my list. I will.
Yeah, I think you could stream it.
We will discuss that movie because we both love John Belushi.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, we like Michael Chiklis. What can go wrong?
Yeah, like look at the cast. Who plays Dan Aykroyd? And who plays?
Hold on.
Oh, because it's funny.
I got it here. I saved it.
You're going to see who plays these actors playing. It's kind of weird. I think there's some
Judy Belushi's Lucinda Jenny. JT Walsh is Bob Woodward.
There you go.
Gary Grooms is Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
How is this guy not older Louis C.K. is beyond me. Look at this guy. He's a character actor. I recognize him, but he looks
I've seen him around. Yeah,
he looks like Louis C.K. in about 15 years.
Yeah, he does.
Why
watch me touch myself?
Who's Gary Grooms, though?
Gary Grooms. No, I don't know.
His only picture on IMDb is him as Dan Aykroyd.
I think a lot of these guys never worked again because Wired was considered a slap in the face.
Why was it called Wired?
Because he's wired. Because he's so wired up and he's excited.
So it's a
he's
reference
wired.
to the microphone he carried for the Blues Brothers and Wired for energy. Like
I think wired for cocaine more than anything. Wired from being a
Call
party
it-
animal.
Nose Candy, the John Belushi story. You know what?
I would say so. Yes.
Rapid heart
Nose Candy, starring Michael Chiklis.
heart beeps.
Oh, that's a
Right
great
now.
movie.
That's a separate one.
No. Have you watched Heartbeeps? Have you seen the movie from minute 1 to the end minutes, closing credits?
I have
It's
not, but you know why I
fucking
said it?
rough.
Do you know why I said it?
I haven't.
I said it because
I bought it at a
who's
grab
the main-
myself for
who's the main
$1.
star? Andy fucking Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
All right.
And
let's
this
talk
is why
about
Andy
Randy
Kaufman was
Quaid.
out of his fucking mind. Randy
I
Quaid.
wish they had a part of this movie that was about heart beeps.
I know. That would
How-
be interesting.
How out of order do we need to go with this movie? If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. Blah blah blah.
Oh,
The rest is
absolutely.
going to be
It's a
out
good
of
movie,
order.
yeah.
We're not here to discuss the actual like plot. This isn't what this show
No.
is. I love the fact that Danny
No.
DeVito plays George Shapiro. Meanwhile, Danny DeVito is
He's-
part of himself, is part of the story, and they just don't include him in the taxi references. It's so weird.
He's there. He's there. I think he's there. I'm pretty sure he's there.
He's there as George. No, I watched this last night or a couple nights ago with that in mind. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. And I was telling my wife
Okay,
because she doesn't know shit about like the Hollywood
No.
backstory.
Well, who
And I'm like,
would?
all right, he's
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
in Taxi in real life with Andy,
Yeah. This
and
is one
he's
of his
playing a
first
different person
parts.
here. And I'm watching. I'm like, because they have Christopher Lloyd, they have Carol Kane, they have what's his fucking name
Yeah.
from Independence Day. Why am I blanking on his name?
Everybody who's the Jewish guy.
Yeah, why am I
what's
blanking on his name though?
Oh my god, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
David, what's
Judd
going on
Hirsch,
with it?
Judd
David,
Hirsch.
hello.
They had Judd Hirsch.
Hirsch.
They
Judd
had
Hirsch.
a guy that looks like Michael Dudikoff. Who was that?
He was the other guy who's dead now. He was the guy that was in He's Dead. They had pretty much everybody on who was alive. Everyone was still alive at that point when they made this movie. Now pretty much they're all dead, except for Judd Hirsch.
And
Judd Hirsch is still kicking.
No.
Nominated for an Oscar. Judd
everyone else
Hirsch.
is still alive.
Yeah, you're right.
Jeffrey Conaway. That's his
Judd
name.
Hirsch is. Jeff Conway's dead. Jennifer.
Yeah,
Jennifer Tish. He's nominated for Best
Mary Lou
Supporting
Henner.
Actor in The Fablemans.
They did not
Mary
get
Lou
Tony
Henner's still
Danza to
around.
come back though. I wonder why.
Well, he was too busy being a high school teacher at that point. I think he was teaching in a high school in New York. He wasn't working
Jeff
as an
Conway
actor
died
at
in
that
2011.
moment. Yeah, sure.
He's the creeper in Grease. Mary Lou Henner.
Yes.
still alive. She was
She's
like
still
the
alive.
youngest.
Yeah.
For Lloyd.
She got.
He's so.
Well, this is a movie that came out in
born in 1938. He
Christopher
predates
Lloyd?
World War. Poland was not invaded by the Nazis by the time he was born. That's how fucking old Christopher Lloyd is.
Marty, we have to go back to my birth before Poland invaded.
Carol Kane's
Hey,
way
Doc.
younger, and she was born in 1952. She's young by comparison.
There you go.
I love every
Jesus
scene in this
Christ.
movie where they reenact Andy doing something, because there's plenty of scenes like that.
Right.
There's a scene on him stage doing the record, the
Oh,
Mighty
yeah.
Mouse and SNL. There's scenes of him doing
Yeah.
the reading the novel in the British accent to ASU out here. There's
Yep.
scenes of him doing Taxi. There's the scene on Fridays, which is like a SNL ripoff.
Yes.
where
Friday,
he
and
gets
that's
slapped
the
by Norm
infamous
Macdonald, or gets
and who's
he
playing
throws Norm
Michael
down.
Richards.
Yeah.
He's playing Michael Richards.
Yes,
Michael
he is.
Richards slapped Andy Kaufman originally. Yep.
He did. Yep, and that was real.
Before he called him the N word, and he slapped
Michael
him when he ran
Richards
off
is not
stage.
in on the gag. And
No.
we'll save this for the next topic, is the premise of Andy Kaufman's persona
Right.
and how we
Yes.
feel about that. But just to move through the movie.
He's more or less.
There's
He is a
that
performance
reenact. No,
artist. That's
we'll
what he
save that
is.
for next. Hold on.
Yeah.
There's
yeah,
the scenes where I'm trying to think of other reenactment scenes that they do. There's plenty of them, and I
The
love all of them.
wrestling
The
wrestling
thing
bit.
is, though,
He's on
the
Letterman.
documentary from Netflix, you watch those same exact scenes, and you realize how nobody was around for most of them.
Right.
It's like him in a chair getting interviewed, being like, "Women belong in the kitchen," and then you see the movie, and he's like in front of the audience, like, "Women belong in the kitchen." It's like so blown out, but it doesn't like seeing that in reality, because I knew Andy, like I watched the Andy Kaufman clips and everything. Not the first time I watched this movie, but subsequently.
There's a documentary. That's where I knew Andy Kaufman was before Man on the Moon. There's a documentary about Andy Kaufman, and it talks about his entire existence, being a comedian, and all the comedians talking about him. They show all the wrestling stuff, some of the taxi stuff, but mostly it focused on the wrestling stuff because that's what he was really known for.
Yeah, that
and
was
more or
most
less
of the time TV. That's why.
Yeah,
on TV, and it was like free to cheap.
Yeah, and people love. I mean, just people couldn't understand it. They didn't believe it. They thought it was real. It was all fake, 100% fake. It was always a fake. It was always a joke. And Tony Clifton, who he created, he would play him sometimes, and Bob Zmuda would play Tony, which was a genius. They were both playing this character, Tony Clifton, which was its own. The people believed that Tony Clifton was two different people. They thought he was someone else, and so they would pay him separately. Where they would want Andy Kaufman, they'd have to pay for Tony Clifton too. So it's two guys. They're getting two checks out of that deal.
They loved, or not they loved. They did a really good job in the movie when Dan DeVito's like on the phone. He's like,
right,
Andy won't be there, right? He's like, yeah, I want to hire Tony. He's like, okay, hire Tony.
Yeah.
And that's when they show Bob as him. I love that they show at first it's Jim Carrey as Tony Clifton. Clearly, he's 3 feet taller.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to and you see Andy come out. Jim Carrey as Andy come out playing the bongos. And then it's clearly Paul Giamatti.
Right. And he hits him, kicks his drums out because he's pissed off. He's upstaging Tony Clifton.
And I guess this is a good segue into the backstory of Andy Kaufman, the actual person behind the movie here.
Right.
I find every detail that he did hilarious.
Yeah.
That's how my brain works, because I like to fuck with people as well. I enjoy that, even if it's for nobody else. I still find enjoyment out of it, because I'll do shit and I'm like, that was for sometimes I don't even find enjoyment. I'm like, that was for the audience in my head.
I just did it because I could.
I just strangled that lady for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he is the Prestige. He's Christian Bale. The life is the joke. Like he is on 24/7. He is this character that exists in the world, designed to make you laugh, or
not,
just to be like, what is this? What is going on? Because he just didn't give a shit, and he found a partner with Bob Zmuda, who was basically, he couldn't do it by himself. He needed a guy like Zmuda to push him and to work each other off of each other, because they both had the same kind of sick sense of humor. And then to find to find a simpatico manager / agent, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro. Hi, how you doing? Hey, what you doing? You're gonna
make one of those libtards.
Let's get those libtards. I'm Ben Shapiro.
No, I walked into my wife's bedroom. Sorry, Ben. Did you say your wife's bedroom? What a fuck!
Your wife's bedroom.
Anyway,
and then
yeah, go ahead.
But just and then of course you have the cavalcade of. What's kind of funny, because I feel like this is a Danny DeVito movie, but it's Milos Forman, because it has a lot of Danny DeVito actors.
It does.
And it like from Death to Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie is fucking incredible.
I love Death to Smoochie.
Okay,
should
we do Death to Smoochie?
We should talk about
next week. It'll be Drop Zone and then Death to Smoochie, or the opposite.
Maybe Death to Smoochie after Drop Zone.
Okay, we'll do Drop Zone next.
Drop Zone might be leaving Amazon. I'm not sure. Drop Zone, I feel like it's going to leave.
Smoochie has Edward Norton as the main character, and Edward Norton is in Milos Forman's People's Larry Flint, and he's incredible in that movie.
Yeah, that's a movie that is
Death to Smooch is so fucking underrated.
Death to Smooch,
It's
yes, it's not in theaters. It was
rocket
wonderful.
ship.
And then when fucking Robin Williams, what the fuck is he talking about? Fucking peasant.
I love that movie.
Oh, it's great. But it feels
Anyway,
like,
sorry.
well, I'm saying like this movie feels like a Danny DeVito directed movie. It's kind of weird, but it's a Milos Forman film,
But
which is odd.
did you notice during every behind the scenes shot, because we watched the documentary on Netflix,
Yeah,
every time they show Milos Forman, Danny DeVito's right beside him.
right.
He's always
Yeah.
there going, because he was like almost there to calm Milos down, because Milos did not understand what Jim Carrey was doing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He was like, he doesn't understand like the method acting. He's like, but I want to talk to Jim. Like, there's one point where Jim's talking about like, Milos called me, and because I wasn't there in person, I answered as Jim. And he's like, hey, I can't deal with Tony, man. And he's like, do you want me to fire Tony? Which is the scene in the fucking movie.
Right.
I guess you can fire him, man. He's back.
I don't know. But again, is that Milos Forman being the director, catering to the actor's need to play that part?
I don't think so.
You don't think Milos would go to that limit to be like he's playing a game with Jim Carrey, knowing that this is all part of his process?
I think based on Milos Forman's previous films, he does not operate that way.
Did you not see Amadeus?
I did, but he didn't have to deal with, F. Murray Abraham wasn't like, get the fuck out of here, Milos. I am,
I'm Tony Clifton, Milos.
Yeah. So Milos was, because the reason I think that way is because of early in the documentary when Jim Carrey first starts doing the role as Tony Clifton.
Right.
And Milos is like, stop. I want to talk to stop. Like, can we do this? I know what you're doing. I know you're doing a thing. And it was like, it was a little too, the reactions were a little too genuine for a non-actor. It just felt like that was Milos going, he's trying to catch up, because later on he doesn't do that. Right. He's more like, all right, Andy,
he's accepted.
Can you come out here and
right? Yeah.
But what really a pain in the ass he looked like on set.
Well, especially on the taxi set when they show the behind the scenes when the taxi stuff's being shot, it's really out of head right there. I feel like that's probably the middle of the shoot, and Foreman is just like, okay, I want this movie over with. I want to be done with this fucking movie. I want to move on here. I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I'm done with this method acting nonsense.
But I hope Milos wasn't dying and looking back in this movie, be like,
I don't think so.
Like, I wish I would have done, because I think he did that's my favorite movie that he did.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, I don't know. A part of me, Milos was in on the joke, much like this is an Andy Kaufman experimentation thing, and it's going to be in that realm of, okay, this is an experiment. This is designed because we want people to talk about the movie too, because this is also going to be cross promotion. We're going to promote the movie that we're making because Andy Kaufman was so batshit crazy. The movie has to be batshit crazy because you're channeling Andy Kaufman. Then you have to be like, is Andy Kaufman going to show up at the end of the movie saying that he's alive? Like, I remember hearing that rumor that Andy Kaufman's in the movie and he's really in it. He showed up because he was never dead. It was all a prank. But that's not true, but whatever, because he never came back.
There is, the conspiracy theorist in you, but it's way too fucking obvious. And they even put a line of it early in the movie, like half an hour in, I'd say. He's like, beyond faking my death or moving the blah, 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 what can I do to surprise these people? That's what he's talking about Tony Clifton.
Right, yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie is George Shapiro goes to, I think it was Vegas.
Yes.
He's like, wants to see Tony Clifton because Tony invited him. And he shows up and he's sitting there and he pours the drink on Bob's head. And he's insulting the audience. And he's like, what are you going to do? And he's a terrible lounge singer.
Right.
And he comes back. He's like, invites him back to the back room and he's sitting there like eating chicken wings or something.
Yeah.
And he like pulls the glasses down and he winks. And I was like,
he's eating spaghetti.
And then you realize he's like, oh, fuck you, Andy. like, oh, you got me so good. I love that scene.
Well, you know why this movie's so good? Also, it's written by Larry Kess and Scott Alexander, the guys that wrote fucking the movie you just talked about with Milos Forman, People versus Larry Flint and Ed Wood.
Ed Wood.
and
Oh, yeah.
Ed Wood. They've written
That's
really great movies. They're two of my they're probably my two favorite screenwriters as a duo, the team. They've written some really solid movies. They're really good.
And they've worked. Okay, I'm looking at Larry Karaszewski. He did Dolomite Is My Name, which I still have yet to
love
see.
that movie. Great movie. I love that movie.
You love Goosebumps?
Money. That was money.
Big Eyes, which is a Tim Burton
Big
movie.
Eyes is good.
He directed a screenplay I fucking love for a movie that's also underrated, 1408.
Yes, 1408 was good.
I love 1408. I don't love it as much as Man on the Moon. Don't get me wrong, but like I think that movie's very underrated.
Yeah.
He also directed or wrote one of my favorite movies of all time, 2003, called Agent Cody Banks.
Money.
Yes.
They also did Problem Child. They created the Problem Child universe.
So he wrote People vs. Larry Flynt, which has Norm Macdonald. He wrote Man on the Moon, which has Norm Macdonald. He also wrote Screwed, which is Norm Macdonald.
Did he do Screwed? Okay, good. Okay,
Screwed.
Wow.
He wrote Problem Child, the TV series. He wrote all of those, and
yes, Problem Child was their creation. Yeah, Ed Wood is their masterpiece.
Problem Child, the first one's a fun movie.
Yeah,
the sequels are fucking garbage.
I don't think they wrote them. They probably just got to check for characters. Like they probably came with a story.
Oh my God.
And like, yeah, fuck it, whatever.
See, I'm thinking you're right. You are correct. It's something I didn't notice, the Danny DeVito factor, because what happened the year after? Norm Macdonald, Dave Chappelle, Danny DeVito, Screwed, the writer of Man on the Moon. They all kept going together. This feels, everything we're adding in here seems like this is a Danny DeVito movie. And how much he was on set and like comment. He talked more during that documentary than Milos Forman did.
Right, yeah. Well, because Danny DeVito was there. So I would think Milos Forman would be smart.
DeVito directed movie.
I think Milos Forman was smart in letting Danny DeVito say, like, well, what happened? Show me what happened, and we'll shoot it that way because you were there. I mean, that makes it realistic, and that's pretty much what it is. And I think that's fair. And good on Milos Forman to have the tenacity. Like, you know what, I'm gonna be like, you know what, you were there, so just because I don't know what the fuck you do anyway. So this movie has to be finished. I have to have a finished movie. So just help me out here, Danny. Let's go. Danny DeVito,
other than being another movie about a weirdo, which I've done several movies of, it's kind of his niche.
That's his thing.
Cuckoo's Nest, Amadeus.
Yep.
Larry Flynt and this. All about fucking weirdos. Genius weirdos.
He's the biopic guy. He's done a lot of
biopic guy. Yeah.
No.
But this one, you're right. The Danny DeVito factor, I think, played way more of a part than I realized until right now. And using him as a resource is incredibly important. I didn't even really factor him in that much until, because I knew he produced it, but I didn't realize until I watched that documentary today how much he was there. Because some producers like Spielberg, he doesn't show up to the set for most of the things he produces. He's not there. His name is attached. That's it.
Poltergeist.
Yeah,
he threw some money. He was there
because he fucking directed that movie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Exactly.
So Spielberg to Poltergeist is DeVito to Man on the Moon.
In a way, yeah, I would agree. Yeah, makes sense. It just makes sense in that respect because he was there.
Yeah. And okay, so back to what we're discussing there. I guess 10 minutes ago. Yes. How do you feel about Andy Kaufman's? I guess I would say aura. As a comedian, actor, his entire presence. How do you feel about that?
I think he was a performing artist. He's not really an actor, not really a comedian. It was more or less about what you could get away with and about reaction. He wasn't doing it for comedy's sake because he would fuck with you. Like he didn't care if you didn't laugh, and that's not a comedian. He wanted to get the reaction of someone. So I think in a way, like he's a guy that understood how to play the game, and he just went for it. And I think he probably thought, why not do this? Why I don't take anything seriously. I think it's all a joke. It's all a scam. Why can't you have fun playing into the scam? Like with wrestling. He knew wrestling was fake. Yeah. So why couldn't you say, you know what? I want to be a wrestler, but I don't want to hurt myself with men, so I'm going to wrestle women, which is just funny. And at the same time, it's like you're asking for trouble if you're doing that, because people are going to get pissed. And that was the point, yeah. And I'm sure Bob Zmuda had the same idea, or it was because because this was all pre-written. This was all written and even like I said before, Jerry Fowler, not Falwell, he was in on it because there's that
Jerry
scene
Fartwell.
Jerry Fartwell.
That's what Woody Harrelson kept referring to him as Jerry Fartwell in front of the Supreme Court.
Your Honor, Jerry Fartwell. Oh, okay. Oh God.
People as Larry Flint, I watched for the first time in a long, long time, and I laughed my ass off the whole time.
Remember the Jim Norton joke where he goes, I met Larry Flint, and I was so excited because the man is like a hero. He's an icon. I go, Mr. Flint, I just want to say, thank you for standing up for freedom of speech and all Second Amendment and all that, or First Amendment. And he goes, yeah. And he just was this big retard in a wheelchair. And that's the Jim Norton joke.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, man, don't meet your heroes. But, oh God, it's hilarious.
But also,
oh well, shit.
Larry Flint probably knew what he was doing right there.
Might have been a joke, but he's dead too. Larry Flint just died, right? He's been dead a while. I feel like he's been dead 10 years at least. At least 10 years. He's had to have been dead for 10 years.
It is weird to me because there's a crossover in my mind. Larry, he died at 78 in 2021.
Oh shit, 2021?
February 10th, 2021.
Wow, so he just died. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did he have the COVID? Did COVID get him? Althea, I'm coming.
Can I mention a weird crossover in my mind?
Please.
Because these two movies are always going to be tied together in my mind because of the same director, same cast.
Absolutely.
Same overall premise, just very different like people. Because Andy's like a sweetheart in real life and actually was like a genuinely nice person. And then, Larry Flint is just self-admittedly a sack of shit.
Sure.
But they did a similar thing. They wanted to piss off the establishment, and that's really their main goal.
Right.
Love me or hate me, you're going to feel something. And that's kind of what I love about Andy Kaufman. Is I'm going to challenge what you feel about comedy. I'm going to challenge what you feel about actors. I'm going to challenge what you feel in this and that and that. But either way, you're going to feel something, whether it's hate or love. I don't care which.
Right.
Both amuse me, which is what I find so pure about him.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was sitting in his audience, I think I would be like, man, come on.
Him reading Great Gatsby and you're trapped there for 3 hours?
I would have been one of the people sitting there because I'm like, how fucking far is he? I would have been like interested.
Yeah.
If I had the night free, I'd be like, how far is he going with this?
Yeah.
Just, he went all the way. I would have been that guy.
I respect you. I respect that.
I would because I'm like, he doesn't give a shit, and I love that attitude.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I love the movie Dirty Work, which coincidentally stars Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Where was I going originally with this? The tying together. I because my parents would always watch their TV shows when they were growing up, so I'd always watch Taxi and Cheers.
Right.
Which stars the real Andy Kaufman and then Woody Harrelson. So it really ties them together even more.
Interesting side note, the Woody Harrelson character might not have been Woody Harrelson. It could have been Werner Herzog's the bear guy.
Oh, really?
Because he was an actor and he was this close to being cast as Woody because he looked like Woody Harrelson. The Dead Man, yeah. What was the documentary called? Grizzly Man?
Yeah, Grizzly Man.
Yeah, Grizzly Man was supposed to be. He was one odd. He was
I did not know that.
Step away from Woody Boyd on Cheers. That was his claim to fame. He was the only almost Cheers.
I've loved Woody Harrelson my entire life. He's in my top, 10, 15 actors.
I'm so glad he got out of that dumb, like Southern hick character that he was in Cheers, because that would have been any other actor. That would have been his life. His career.
He's done so much in so many different genres.
Yeah,
because he goes from like Cheers to White Man Can't Jump to
Yep.
you know, eventually he gets into like these weird independent movies with Ben
Money
Foster.
Train.
Money Train, yeah, 95, Money Train with Wesley Snipes.
Whoops.
And then he does his next thing was like Hunger Games, where he plays the drunk.
He just gets
And then he shows up in fucking Star Wars, Han
Oh yeah, Beckett
movie, and you're like
Solo, yeah.
But he's the same
He's
character
great.
he is from everything else.
He's
but
great
it
in it.
works.
He's wonderful in the movie. He's fantastic.
He's a guy that will be in anything, but he's always great. So you don't bitch about him.
True Detective.
True fucking detective. He's so good.
Best show, one of the best series ever.
Best nudity I've ever seen in a movie, and I was so jealous of him.
That's right. Put his face in her ass. I was watching.
Sorry,
I was watching people's reactions to that show, and it was pretty good.
Just because it's Woody Harrelson, that scene didn't piss me off that he got to do that. And I was like,
yes.
It's fucking Woody Harrelson. He deserves it.
He deserves it. Good for you, Eddie.
Yeah.
Good
if it was Colin Farrell, I'd be like, that guy's got free pussy his entire life. He doesn't deserve this shit.
I love your asshole. I want to eat it.
Yeah.
What's going on over here?
There's a difference there.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. I won't say we are. I am all over the place. I'm kind of doing my backstory with the characters.
You mean like Andy Kaufman? Like Andy Kaufman?
I love the anarchist method of Andy Kaufman, especially as a punk fan. You know, growing up with punk music, I fuck everyone and your preconceived notions of what comedy can be.
Right.
How about, because Monty Python's the same way.
Yeah.
So much so that Monty Python did the exact same bit Andy Kaufman did. They did it before he did.
Right. Well, yeah, obviously.
But if you listen to Monty Python, John Cleese tells a story about how they made a record, in the sketch in the TV show, they would lower the volume a little bit every few seconds, and then you would turn up the audio, and then blaring when they go back to normal.
Right.
So every time I watch Man on the Moon, and Andy does we're making the vertical, and they turn,
yeah.
And they think the TV doesn't work, and I'm like that. I love it, but I've also already seen this because Monty Python did it 15 years beforehand.
Right.
So they're tied together, though.
Maybe
I love I'm going to do my thing. And that's why I do podcast. I don't give a shit who listens. It's really been my motto for my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't. I'll never care about success. It's not about that. It's about entertaining myself.
Right.
Which is not a great thing. It's not.
I've lost so many friends.
No, but think about because there's a scene I love when Danny DeVito goes to him and Bob. He goes, "How far is this with the wrestling? How far is this going to go? Like, are you trying to you're a comedian? Are you trying to entertain your audience or just yourselves? Just you two assholes?"
Yeah,
and that's I understand
pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Why is that not fine? Because I've done so much stuff just to entertain myself. I don't give a shit if anyone likes it, anyone watches it. I don't care.
Well, I think that's the difference. That he wasn't a sellout.
Yeah.
And what happens, a lot of these actors, that's why there's so much resentment in people who are successful, because they have to cut corners and compromise on things that they probably shouldn't have, because it would have been the same outcome. It's like you're still going to have that. You're still going to have success, but then that success is going to end anyway, because you have a finite amount of time for success anyway, especially in entertainment. And it's like
especially what somebody then.
Especially
nowadays, you can do whatever the fuck you want. As long as you don't touch a woman, you're fine.
Now just no one gives a shit because everything's been done and nobody's good. Yep. Nobody's entertaining. Nobody's interesting anymore. They cast Instagram models to be actors now, and it's like they have no personality. They're interchangeable. Like I don't care what ethnicity they don on them for inclusivity. They're boring. Find me good character actors. Like I want actors that are interesting. Like I don't care. Like, oh, we have to have 4 check boxes. We have to have the gay character. We have to have the black guy. We have to have the Hispanic guy. Now we have to have the Hindu guy in every movie. And it's always going to be played by the same actor, the guy from the Twilight Zone episode and Eternals. That guy who's in every movie. Yeah, who's great, but he's like the Indian guy.
He's in my top 5 comedians. So,
he's hilarious, but he's the go-to Indian guy now. Which
fucking
I'm kind of like, well, I don't want him. I want him because I like him. Yeah. I don't want him because he has to be in this box that you have to fill out.
No, the Eternals was all about box checking.
Yes.
We got this.
Yes.
We got this. We got the little lesbian
Terrible.
girl. We're checked there.
Terrible. I didn't watch it. I still haven't seen it, so I don't know anything.
I watched
about
it twice now. The second viewing was much more tolerable.
Right? Yeah.
It's not great.
I
Like, it's not
have
good.
zero interest.
But
I have
it's
zero
like
interest in Marvel.
The
just
end.
in
I'll say
general
this:
now.
you should watch it for the last 5 minutes, because you're like, I don't want to spoil it, but you're like, how is this not come up in the other Marvel
Right?
movies?
Yeah.
This is
There's a giant celestial coming out of the
there
earth
is
that's frozen.
like
Yeah, I know,
like
I saw it.
Cabin in the
I
Woods.
saw it.
You're like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah. It's like, hey guys, what's up?
Inside the yeah,
I'm
dies.
stuck.
They touched the. It felt like an anime. They
it's
touched the ground and
cold.
it died. But
I'm really cold out here in space.
Can you
okay,
guys set
so
up some blankets.
as far
Kaufman.
as Andy Kaufman goes, I love
wait.
everything about him.
Sure.
I think in an audience I would be kind of bored, but because it's hard to like breathe in the entire persona in the moment, you know what I mean? Like now I can look back and go, "Oh, that's fucking incredible," because I know the joke.
Right.
So it's hard to it's hard to separate yourself. In reality, you'd be sitting there going, "Why is he reading a fucking now? Fuck this guy."
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You
At
probably
the
walk
time,
out and you'd be pissed, and then you look
of
back
course.
after he died and go, "Oh, you fucker!" Like
pretty ingenious. You gotta
you'd
give him
be pissed,
credit.
but you'd be like, "Oh, shame
he
on
got
me. I
he
bought
got
into
me.
it."
He got me.
Yeah.
And
And that's what I
especially
love.
when
It's-
everybody wanted him to do Latka. Everybody was like, thank you very much. And then everybody goes, yeah, Latka.
I love it. He's like,
Fuck
I'm
you.
actually British.
Yeah,
You know, it was the best of times.
Yeah.
He's reading Tale of Two Cities, and then he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much."
I'm not
And
going
goes right back to reading it.
I'm not going to play that stupid part that you guys are watching because it's fucking
Kurt
TV.
Cobain.
Fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kurt Cobain felt the same way, which is ironically, this movie is the female lead is
The one
Kurt
that
Courtney
killed
Love.
him. The woman
It's
that
the one
killed
who
him.
probably killed him.
That's what I heard on that movie, that documentary that I saw. That made a very good point. They have a very, very good case in that movie made. Kurt, what was it? Courtney Loves Kurt. That
There's a few of
documentary.
them. His daughter made one called "Soaked in Bleach,"
Right.
which is solid. There's another one called I don't know, some other song they did. Soaked in Bleach isn't one of them. Bleach is a song they did.
Something in the way.
No, it's not Batman.
Batman.
There's another one that's not as good as his what's his daughter's name? Frances Bean.
Who kind of goes in and
Really
out
good
of love.
version of that. Really good documentary on her dad.
Yeah, she kind of has a love-hate relationship with her mother. I think it kind of like sometimes she'll be like, okay, she's all right, and next time she's like, fuck her, I don't want anything to do with her.
She's not far off from
No,
her
she's not.
character in People vs. Larry Flint.
No, she's not.
And if you're not sexually attracted to Courtney Love, do not watch People vs. Larry Flint, because I forgot how much she's nude in that movie. I knew about the scene where she died.
If you want to be
about the scene in the hot tub with the threesome, I remember that, and I didn't realize she was naked most of her scenes.
If you're questioning your heterosexuality, do not watch Larry Flint versus People versus Larry
She's
Flint.
disgusting in that movie.
I don't like pussy.
Can I say this though? She is funny, and she is a very good actress in these two movies.
Yes, she is.
I don't want to disparage her there, but I find her disgusting sexually.
And then she fucked Russell Crowe and Ed Norton, and then she was never
Trent
seen from
Reznor,
again.
and he wrote Starfuckers Incorporated about her.
Billy Corrigan, she fucked him for a while. Oh, I don't know if they fucked, but he wrote her music. He might not have fucked her. I think he might be smarter than that.
No,
he's a businessman.
They were together for a while.
Yeah. I don't know if they
Reznor and her,
though, because he was doing songs when she was still with Nirvana, right? Where she was still with him, with
Kurt Cobain. After he died, she was like the first person he called. Okay, and so he wrote Starfuckers Incorporated about her because he's like, because that came out in '99.
Yeah,
Kurt Cobain died in '94.
Yes,
so she just went on like a fucking tear, and then he realized, oh, you're just going to the next big musician. I see. So Starfuckers Incorporated came out.
Actors after that.
Yeah.
And now she fucks bad plastic surgeons because she has like a melted face.
But I don't want to sit here and trash talk her. She's good in this movie.
Sure,
Jim Carrey loved her in this movie.
Yes,
in the documentary, yes. You watch them, and he's like, "Oh, Courtney's here," and they hug and they dance naked in their underwear together.
Yeah,
I was like, "All right, they're having fun." I don't want to shit talk her for no reason. I don't know her, but she's good in the movie.
Yeah,
everyone's great in this movie. Vincent, I do want to bring him up there real quick.
Chevalier.
Yes, he's also in People vs. Larry Flint.
Yes, well, he's another Danny DeVito staple.
He is, because he's on Taxi.
He's Batman Returns.
Yes, he's in a ton of shit.
Death to Smoochie, he's in that too.
Yes.
He passed away. He's the best part of the movie Ghost. Have you ever seen Ghost?
Yep.
He's the get off my train. He's that guy. He's dead. He's no longer with us. R.I.P.
He died 4 or 5 years ago. I want to say
like that. I guess he was a chef, and Danny DeVito said he used to cook
like pig.
Like, yeah, he's a professional chef. Like he said, he was an amazing chef. So I guess Danny DeVito said in every set, that's why he had Vincent on the set, because he would cook for him. And he says Vincent was a master chef, so that's why he was like pretty much every DeVito movie he brought him in because he wanted him to cook for him, which is funny.
Yeah,
make me something, Vincent.
Schiavelli died in 2005. Wow.
Oh my God. Oh wow. That's right after Death to Smoochie.
He's in Fast Times at Ridgemont High as well.
That's right. Yeah, he's the teacher.
He is really good in Ghost and Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yes, Tomorrow Never Dies. I'm going to torture you.
Death to Smoochie. We need to do that. Oh man.
We are. Yeah, Death to Smoochie's a classic.
Can we do these 3 movies in a row? This is the third one's going to be a pitch to you, because we're going to do Drop Zone.
Yes.
Smoochie. Money Train.
I think so. That's fine.
Okay.
I think so, because Money Train's got Michael Wincott.
I fucking love Money Train.
Michael Wincott's great. He
Unashamed love Money Train. I haven't seen it in 20 years though.
I haven't either. I saw it when it came out in video, and I haven't seen it since. So I'd be curious to rewatch that.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do that. That's funny.
Money Train has the combination of Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes.
Yes, it does. Well, shit, we're gonna have a Wesley Snipes fest.
So Drop Zone. Oh, should we do a Rising Sun after that with him and
maybe.
Death to Smoochie.
I'm very Tacard.
Money Train. Do Money Train, and then we'll do what's that shitty cheap the Lawrence Brothers movie that just came out?
The Lawrence
Money Plane.
Oh, Money Plane. Oh God.
Zedarius the Grouch. The Grouch.
The third. Grouch the third. I'm the motherfucking badass or something. Oh God, we could do that.
Oh shit,
so
Vincent Schiavelli's in Lord of Illusions.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
the Clive Barker movie.
Yep,
X-Files. I remember that episode.
Yep, that's Adam's favorite.
Adam's episode. Yep. 3 Ninjas Knuckle Up. I remember him from that.
Why wouldn't you do that movie?
He was in the original Matrix, the TV series, Batman the Animated Series. Batman Returns, obviously, is the organ grinder.
Yep.
Erie, Indiana, which is like the first version, kind of like.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Kind of
like that, and it kind of reminded me. It came out later, but it's like a weird. Like
no, it's more
David
of a
Lynch
It's more of a Sam Raimi, David Lynch kids show.
David Lynch.
It's a David Lynch kids show.
He was in Tales from the Crypt and Morning Mess, which we've done.
Yeah.
He is in Miami Vice.
I would believe that.
Star Trek Next Generation is the peddler. Dorf on Golf, which I grew up in Michigan, so Dorf is huge.
Tim Conway, very good.
Yeah.
I've never
Fast
seen one.
Times, the TV series. He was in the movie and the TV series.
Oh, Jesus Christ. They made a TV show.
Who's the Boss, of course, because he wanted to work with Tony Danza again.
Who doesn't?
Amadeus, of course. So he actually started as a Milos Forman guy.
There you go. Okay. All right. Oh, and I think he's in.
No, never mind. Taxi was before that.
Was he in Cuckoo's Nest?
No.
Is he in Cuckoo's Nest? No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I think it would be because he looks like one of the guys that would be in there.
Well, Christopher
Lloyd looks like him in that movie.
Christopher Lloyd and Brad Dourif took that part, I guess.
He's in Night Shift.
Night Shift's a good
movie
one.
There.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. Frisco Kid. Butch and Sundance, the early days. Yeah. Oh, WKRP in Cincinnati. That's another show.
Classic. Yeah, that's a classic show.
Starsky and Hutch. Oh, just got there. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, he was in it.
So, but the problem is,
both
Milos Forman and Danny DeVito, started right there. Like, started their careers, but their career, they're intertwined since then.
Yes, it is. Yeah, So it makes sense.
And that's why Danny knew Christopher Lloyd when they did Taxi. They're both in that movie.
Yep.
I would say I've never thought about this rabbit hole here between these two guys, but it is deep.
It goes deep. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Pretty good. Well, that's
Damn,
how it's
show
usually how it
good.
goes.
I
Yeah,
know,
it's
but
just
I never
good.
thought about this one. Usually, because
Yeah.
usually I'm like, oh yeah, I thought about that, but no, this one never.
Much like Paul Rubens and what's his name, the character actor that went to prison for
Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones. That circle of friends.
Jeffrey Jones is in. I looked up last night. Is in Milos Forman movies.
Yes,
he
he is.
A movie. He is.
Jeffrey Jones is in a lot of movies.
He is, but specifically, he is in Milos Forman movie. I'll pull it up here. He is in. Was it Taking Off?
You know, it was that one that you were talking about, the character actor movie.
No, it was the one after that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Vincent Schiavelli's in Taking Off from 1971.
Wow. Okay.
I Miss Sonia Henney. Did not star anyone from that we know. It might have. Was it Visions of 8? Oh shit. Nope.
Well, Jeffrey Jones has not worked since Deadwood the movie 2019.
Ragtime. London. Oh, it was Black Peter, I think.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. I looked it up last night and I was like, oh, Jeffrey Jones, of course, because he's worked with every director you like just to ruin it. So I sent the Dick last night, Ragtime from 1981.
Ragtime, yes. That's what I was
James Cagney,
Yeah,
Elizabeth McGovern,
interesting.
Howard Rollins, Brad Dourif, Moses Guns, Kenneth McMillan, Pat O'Brien, Donald O'Connor, James Olsen, Mandy Patinkin, Mary Steenburgen, Debbie Allen, Jeffrey DeMunn, Robert Joe. It just keeps going.
Yeah,
These
that's
little
pretty.
character actors. It's just full of them. And the movie only has a 7.3.
Wow.
A young black penis becomes embroiled in the lives of upper middle class white families, set him on the racial tensions, infidelity, violence, and other nostalgic events of the early 1900s in New York City. It seems like a Robert Altman movie.
It does. Well, shortcuts. It sounds like
No, but
shortcuts.
It sounds like Nashville.
Nashville.
It has the same poster.
It's Gosford Park.
Yeah.
He's a fucking ensemble director. That's all he ever did. And they gave him so much credit for that. I'm just like, he just would run the camera and they would talk over each other. That was his thing. Congratulations. Not that impressed. I just kind of hate Robert Altman. I don't know why.
Okay, so Jeffrey Jones is in Amadeus.
Yeah, I thought so.
Valmont, that was the other one.
Okay. All right. Very good.
But he worked with him quite a bit. Didn't know
He's
he was
all-
an 8-year-olds.
He's also in the Twilight Zone 1985 Carl Wilkerson segment opening day as Jeff Jones.
Oh, God.
So can't wait for that.
What's it called?
The episode is called Opening Day. The segment Opening Day.
Oh, baseball shit.
Twilight Zone 1985.
You know, it's a good thing to bring 8-year-old boys to? Opening day.
Opening Day. Talking about his butthole.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Last thoughts on the movie.
It's a classic.
I think it never gets discussed. Nobody ever brings this up.
I think because anybody that would have known who Andy Kaufman is doesn't care anymore.
It's such a niche thing. It's like it's so far in the past now that especially people today wouldn't understand it. And they'd be like, yeah, it's not that funny. Whatever.
People now, but like I remember watching this when it came out and I was like, I fucking love that movie.
What was the box office on this movie?
I'm trying to remember if I saw this in the theater or not.
I don't think I saw it in theater. I know I didn't because I don't think it came out here until later and I probably missed it.
Jim and Andy the Great Beyond has a 7.6. I do love that Jim Carrey starts that off by saying,
right.
Fuck, I was thinking gonna bring this up earlier, but I forgot.
No, I know what you're talking
says
about.
Something that pays off way later. God damn it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought this up.
We'll get to Get to the box office of
Yeah,
Man.
let's look at the box office.
It's not much. It didn't make that much money. I don't think it was a very big hit.
I can't imagine it did, but let's see. Budget 82 million, estimated gross worldwide 47 million.
Oh, that's a ball.
That's IMDb is never that correct for that shit.
They're pretty close though, but yeah, it's pretty rough. That's like you don't even make half your money back. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but this is also rental days and
true, and that's what I saw. I rented
it made its money back.
It probably did. Well, I mean, yeah, granted, but again, Andy Kaufman, not a mainstream concept. Andy Kaufman's very niche.
I found the part of the documentary interesting because he's like, I made so many big movies for so many people,
right?
That I just want to do this.
Yeah.
The guy goes, "You ever played a real life person before?" And he's like, "No." Like he just realized it himself. He's like,
yeah.
I guess I never have.
And Andy Kaufman, probably the closest thing.
Yeah, and he goes down the rabbit hole being so in character. And it's why I hate Jared Leto so much.
Right.
But for this particular role,
yeah,
I'm not being a hypocrite. For this exact particular role, I'm on board because that's exactly what Andy would do.
Yes.
Just fuck with the parts where he's fucking with Jerry, the wrestler.
Right.
Get uncomfortable even in the documentary because he treats him like Andy would. But then they cut to Jerry and he goes, "Hey, in real life, we were friends. Like, we weren't like scheming, but we had like similar minds. Like, I thought this was funny and it was beneficial for both of us."
So but
Jim is like, he just keeps fucking with me.
Well, okay. Can you imagine if Gary Oldman was Andy Kaufman? He was one of the actors listed.
That would be the cheaper version of the movie, yeah.
Oh, I don't think it'd be cheaper. They'd have to pay Gary Oldman.
No, the production would be way cheaper. Universal would not shell out that much money for Gary Oldman.
It'd be a $40 million movie. It would have made money.
Yeah, that's probably true, but they would not have spent as much and would have been nearly as good of a movie.
Right.
We should do The Cable Guy.
There you go. I haven't seen that in forever. You like that movie. You're a Cable Guy guy, right?
I am a Cable Guy guy.
Cable Guy. Hey, guy.
I'm a Cable Gaga.
Cable Gaga. Poker face. My poker face. I'm trying to see if there's any information here. Oh, here you go. Jerry Lawler stated that Jim Carrey was a handful to work with.
Yeah.
It stemmed from Carrey's insistence on staying in character on and off set. Several years later, Carrey sent Lawler some old 1980s records of hits that wrestlers recorded from his personal collection, saying it was a great pleasure working with him. Well, that's nice. Before he died, he made amends with Jerry Lawler.
Oh, Jerry Lawler's dead?
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Okay. I don't know shit about Jerry Lawler.
Double check on that. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
I'm
almost positive he's dead.
He's pushing an elephant up the stairs in hell.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Let's go Jerry Lawler.
Is he dead? Let's find out. I can't remember. I could be Dr. Death on this show.
As soon as I find him.
He's been dead for 10 years.
Courtney Love's alive somehow.
I can't believe that. She sold her soul to the fucking devil. A Faustian bargain for that.
Oh, he's alive.
Okay, good.
He looks like he's wearing the most douchiest shirt ever in this picture.
Does it say I'm Jerry Lawler?
No, it's
Lawler. Oh, Ed Hardy shirt.
Oh my god!
What's up, bro? Want to get some pussy?
Yeah,
that's what that guy would say wearing that shirt. Let's get some pussy in Vegas, bros.
You know, part of my favorite parts of the documentary was, and they're two separate ideas, but the same idea overall. Bob Zmuda and then Jerry Lawler. They show both of them having like nostalgic stuff because they actually both knew Andy. Yeah. But Jerry Lawler's watching like the old clips and being like, yeah, like I did this like in real life. You know, he's telling like behind the scenes stuff. I found that fascinating.
Right.
Bob Zmuda was telling like, I gave him all these ideas, and eventually he hit the part where he's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my own thing. And then he went creatively bankrupt, and he came crawling back. But Jim starts to break down because I don't buy the whole character thing. Oh, that was the thing I want to bring up.
You think it was for the movie, like promoting
Yeah,
the movie?
that was the thing I wanted to bring up
promotion.
because Jim has a line early on that they set up where he goes, by myself, I'm Jim. But then
Right.
you get a bunch of people around, and I become that character that just wants to please them, makes them laugh, and do this thing. So that was a good setup line for him as Tony Clifton, like nonstop rating people, and him as Andy, just nonstop doing that,
Right.
character. But then you'd see scenes where him as Jim being like, he's fucking with Bob. Like, you can't do any of the behind the scenes shit. Like Universal said they're going to pull it, and they don't reveal
Right.
until the credits that was a joke.
Right.
So I'm like, was he in character the entire time? He doesn't seem like he was.
I think it's a little bit of mythology. It's trying to build up this movie to sell it as a cross promotional thing, and also print the legend. I'm sure people would be like, yeah, because every time a movie needs an oomph, they need to try to sell it on different levels. So like the Jared Leto thing, like he's so into character, he said everybody use condoms on the set of Suicide Squad. He's so into character. It's just like, he didn't do that. Shut up.
Yeah.
If he did, he's an asshole. Because it's just weird. That doesn't do anything for the film, especially when all the shit is cut out of the movie because the movie's a different movie than the one that was on the script. Because they fucking gutted that movie so badly.
But what's weird is I'm looking at Bob Zamuta's IMDb.
Not much.
No, but he worked on the number 23 after this movie as a desk clerk with Jim.
Oh, interesting.
And you know what's even stranger? 4 years before this movie, he was an electronic store owner on Batman Forever.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
So he knew Jim
right
before this.
Maybe I think Bob Zamuda is one of those guys that's like a writer for comedians. He's probably made a career just helping out a bunch of different comedians.
He was in DC Cab.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is, because he's just one of those guys that probably lives in Hollywood, made a career being the writer that people could go to write jokes. He gets paid, they pay him under the table or whatever for the week, and that's how he makes his living, which is an awesome way to go.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love to have that life. It'd be so great. Just like, well, I pretty much have that life now. I just don't make any
money.
I don't make a lot of money, and I don't really do anything for anybody. But it works out. I'm pushing an elephant up the stairs.
Would you believe
they put a man
on the moon?
And you get you hear about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hawking on Elvis. Are you singing? Are we having fun? So yeah, overall, this is an 8. You give it probably a higher grade. I give it an 8. I give it an 8. Solid film. Love it. It's one of those movies I do enjoy. Glad to see it again, and I'll revisit it in the future. And I can't wait to show my children that I'll never have.
Yeah, it is a bizarre feature that even if you don't know who Andy was, it still works because they give you enough information to go off.
Right.
And that's all you really need in a movie. It's a character movie. It's a performance movie. I love the scene where he admits he has cancer and nobody believes him because that's obviously what would happen in real life.
Yeah.
You're fucking with us. That's your entire existence at this point, Andy. It's a touching movie. The scene where this is the first time I watched this movie and saw the scene where they pull, he goes to like India or wherever he goes, and they pull the little spleens out of you, wherever that is.
Yeah.
It's the first time I watched it and saw that Andy saw he's faking it.
Oh, you didn't see that before?
I didn't.
Okay, yeah, because
I don't know why.
That's why he starts laughing, because he knows it's a cutlet. He has like a chicken cutlet, and it's on the chicken cutlet,
and that's what he's doing. And he laughs. He's like, "This guy's doing what I do. This guy's
he's just like me." Exactly. What I was going to say. He's doing what I'm doing, but for a different reason.
Yeah, exactly. Which is much worse. This guy's an asshole.
He's fucked.
Yes.
But it's like sweet, and it's kind of like a little comeuppance without being brutal to him.
Right, yeah.
He's like, oh, you gave me hope.
This is
Okay.
funny. This is
Yeah.
fun. This is.
He's
this
like,
is- yeah, okay.
I get it, man.
That's the joke.
Player's
Everything-
gonna play. I get it. All
the
right.
joke's on me. The joke's on everybody. The jokes of the
But
universe.
in
is
reality,
the joke.
it's sad as shit.
Yeah.
Like, that was the
Well,
first time
yeah.
I saw that he saw the fakeness of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't see that before. I probably just looked away for a second every time.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
it's like, I don't know, they're pulling out guts, and I don't know. But
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like
totally
that's why
fair.
he like smiled. I thought he was like going, because it hurt.
No, he's laughing because
Yeah.
like, this is a joke. This is a bunch of bullshit.
But it looked like if you were doing the pain shot,
right.
it would look the exact same, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
it's
that's
that.
why I
It's
thought.
the old trick, that old visual trick where you put the face of a man and a dead cat, a
Yeah.
baby, a piece of food, a candy bar, a cigarette. It's like it represents the face that never changes, but people thinks it does because it's correlating with an image that's supposed to define what's he feeling, but it doesn't.
The editing
The
experiment.
master, yeah, it's a pretty ingenious way of fooling people.
It's interesting there because I don't know how I didn't see that he saw that it was fake. I knew it was fake,
Right.
like, but I assume he didn't see, and then I realized, oh, he's hiding. I just didn't see that exact
Right.
shot.
Now that's
I don't
funny.
know.
See, that's why you got to watch the movie more than once. You pick up on things.
It's just and I've seen this movie. I don't know. I don't want to say 10 times, 7, 8 times.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the first time I saw that he saw it. It's just weird. So you catch something new all the time.
I love that part where Bub's Buddha takes Andy to the whorehouse, and he goes, "He treat him kind of nice." He goes, "Oh, Andy's here every fucking week."
He's
Jesus.
like, "No, Andy, that guy." And she's like, "Yeah, he's you
He's
fucking asshole."
He's like, "Yeah, I knew it. I should have known better."
Yeah, I love that.
That's
He's
funny.
just wrestling topless girls.
He's just totally.
If I give you $300, will you come ruin a TV show with me? Shows up as Tony Clifton.
That's funny.
I love the whole Tony. Oh, let's get out of here. We're done. We keep
All
going.
right, go see the movie, guys. Have fun.
It's just
with
me
it.
saying I love this scene. I love this.
I
scene.
love it.
Outro video, Dick.
Falling